good people of
Tromsø.
Back outside of Nordkap Tunnel, I met a guy on a motorcycle. His name was Christian. Christian's worked in the military, wind power, construction management, and as a guide for a bumbling American stumbling over Norway. He told me to come through for a beer when I got to Tromsø, and we had a few. To my first Norwegian friend in Norway, Skull. I'm glad I talked to you outside the tunnel. I'm going to get better at Norwegian, I promise. I'm so sorry. On day 2, I listened to the advice of the 2 girls that Christian and I had met the night before, Christine and Christina. Christian, Christine, and Christina. I should check out the Bukta Festival, which happens annually in the town of Tromsø. The only problem was how expensive the tickets were, so I went biking down there to see if they might be cheaper at the gate, and they weren't. So for 3 days, the tickets were something like $250, and up at the front, there's a line snaking out into the parking lot. The one guy says we're sold out for Saturday. You can get 2 days, but... So I'm looking at this line in front of me with nobody in it, and I ask, what's this line for? The lady says it's for volunteers. So I kind of smile, and I'm like, you guys don't need any more volunteers, do you? So I got in for free, and on top of that, my job was to work backstage on the main stage, just basically moving equipment and watching the artists perform. I felt like I completely cheated. I had to work the concert for 3 days, which allowed me to meet a bunch of other super cool people. Simone and Elias were the first 2 people I met volunteering at the festival. We started working backstage together at the same exact time. Simone is wearing the blue hat, and he's from Germany, and that's my boy. I got the pleasure of meeting him and his friends at the festival on day 2, where we were able to just kind of enjoy it, and everybody was just super sweet to me. Simone, I'm glad I met you, brother. In the background is Elias in the blue helmet. He is Norwegian, a native of Tromsø. We had quite a weekend. Again, couldn't have asked for 2 better people to meet while working the festival. I was really glad I did. Ariane! Oh God, you tell me how I pronounced it. Ariane. This was my bunkmate and hostel mate for the entirety of the festival, and good friend during the festival, and good friend overall. After waking up at the hostel at the same time around 12 in the afternoon on day 2, we knew we were going to be good friends. Wouldn't have shared my bunk with anybody else, buddy. Hope to have a beer with you again soon, my friend. Also, this band is called Rival Sons. Pretty dope. Alright, so here's my last crazy kind of story in Tromsø. The night that Elias and Simone and me go to get a bar in Tromsø, we go to this one bar. We literally have one beer. We just shoot the shit. It's late as hell. We're not sleeping. We have one beer and we're leaving the bar. So I go to open the front door. I close the front door and there's something slick on my hand. So like I look down and there's blood all over my hand. So I look up and the bouncer's there and I was like, yo, what the? There's blood all over the door. And the bouncer looks at me and he's kind of like, yeah. And I was like, what? I go inside and turn to this cute bartender I'd seen earlier and I say, hey, there's blood on the door. And I hear a guy behind me go, hey, hey. So I turn around, there's a guy in a chair with blood streaming down his face. And he's beckoning to me with one hand and going, come here, come here. I said, no, I'm not going over there. I wash my hands and end up talking to this bartender girl and just telling her I'm working Bukta. And that was about it. 2 days later, I'm working at Bukta and throwing away trash in one of the bins, and 2 volunteers come up, Juan and Ruben, and we start to talking. Juan talks about this bar that he frequents a lot, and when I hear him talk about it, I'm like, wait a second, I was there the other night. And I tell him the story about there being blood all over the door. One of his best friends happened to be the bartender that was working that night, the bartender I talked to inside. And this is how I would meet Petra and all her friends.
Good morning.
Petra is from Slovakia, genuinely good soul, world traveler, does a little influencing on the side. But once again, her and her friends took care of me, and at this point I just thought I would never leave Tromsø. I might just live here. Here's Elias and Juan, and you could count on a hug from Juan every 15 minutes, which describes him as a person too. Just the soul embodiment of a hug. It's kind of hard to have a bad night when you're getting a hug every 15 minutes. So I was going to tell you that there's 77,544 people. in Tromsø. It's the third largest settlement north of the Arctic Circle. It's the largest in northern Norway. But I wanted to focus on the people that I met here and how wonderful they were and how they made Tromsø a very special place that I hope to come back and visit sometime again. So to the good people of Tromsø, thank you very much. I hope to see you again. I was going to wrap it up with that, but when I thought about making a thing about people I met, there's a bunch of people that I didn't take video of that I would be remiss not to mention. Daniela, my American friend from Hawaii, glad to have met you at Blah Rock and happy this led to meeting your friendly clan of people. Sonia, my Russian Budka friend, thank you for telling me about Norway's oldest cinema. Megan, my French roller derby friend that helped me clean up all the trash at Budka. Couldn't have done it without you. Thanks for letting me follow you around. John, Uwe, Yago, Franzi, Francisco, Paul. So many people, so many good people. Thank you.